What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Mo, and today what we'll be going through is wildcard templates for game week 8. So the biggest question nowadays is being asked to ourselves by FPL managers is, shall I play the wildcard? Should we use it now? What team to play? What players to consider? So we'll go through all of that. So I've got two template teams that I spent some time reviewing and thinking what can be the best team going forward in game week 8. So we'll get into all of that. But before we do that, if you haven't liked the video so far, give it a like. And also, if you haven't subscribed to FPL INKLING, take this opportunity now to hit that subscribe button. Help us get to that 1k subscribers mark, which we're getting there as soon as possible. So let's get stuck into today's video. So this is the first team that I have on screen. So what I did is I made a blank canvas. I've already played my wild card. So the best thing I thought is let's just rip it all apart and let's start from scratch, and let's make two teams where I think might be the most beneficial teams and good teams going forward from game week 8 along to the next strand, or let's say 5 to 10 game week fixtures. So let's start from the back. So I've got Aaron Ramsdale. Now in terms of Arsenal, they do have some really good favourable fixtures coming up, so we can click on his information here. As you can see, since he's been in, he's got 3 clean sheets out of 4 games that he's played. Even against the Tottenham one, I know he conceded, but he did have a good game, and I think he's added a lot of solidity to Arsenal ever since signing for them, which was a big deal for them. Even myself, I was a bit sceptical how he'd fit in, but he's certainly got the #1 jersey, and he'll be there or thereabouts. Let's look at his fixtures. So you can see from game week 8 all the way to game week 11, they're all manageable fixtures for Arsenal. And then they've got a tough game at Liverpool at Anfield in game week 12, and then Newcastle, and then the tough fixtures begin there. But I still think he'll add a lot of value to Arsenal. He can get clean sheets in either of those difficult games, as you guys can see coming ahead, and he's only owned by just under 5% of managers, so still a good differential option for you to have between, you know, a goalkeeper that you have starting at #1 at the moment for Arsenal Football Club. We've got Ben Foster, who's going to be the backup keeper. Pretty much played the last 3 games for Watford, hasn't kept a clean sheet yet, but again, he's a good option to have as a second keeper if for some reason Aaron Ramsdale does not start for Arsenal in any of the games coming in the near future. Now, defensively, what I've done is I've kind of doubled up on Chelsea. So the 2 defenders I've gone for is because of the fixture. So as you guys can see, Rudiger has kind of been their stalwart. And if we refresh back to our fixtures video, as you guys can see from here, these are the most easiest fixtures in the next 5 game weeks, according to the difficulty fixture predictor from FPL. So you can see Chelsea are right at the top, and Southampton, Leeds, Brentford and Manchester City make up the top 5. So doubling up on Chelsea in defence may be a really good idea, because the games consist of Brentford away, who by all means, and giving respect to, have played extremely well. But we need to understand Chelsea have been one of the best defences in the league. And we need to obviously appreciate that we need to double up potentially on them, considering they've got Norwich at home, followed by Newcastle away, and then Burnley at home. I mean, Newcastle have had their takeover, so we shouldn't be too respectful right now, because the kind of takeover hasn't taken the effect on the pitch. We'll have to wait until all those players come on. But for now, Newcastle seems like a relatively good fixture for us to have at least a triple up of Chelsea in these games. So if we go back to the squad itself, so you can see Rudiger coming in, owned by around 20% of managers. I think he's pretty much nailed to start week in, week out for Chelsea themselves. Along with him is Azpilicueta. About 2 weeks ago, I would have said Marcus Alonso, but I've been proven wrong as Chilwell has come in. I don't really want to go around the Chilwell versus Alonso route, so I've kind of scrapped that idea and moved towards Azpilicueta. As you guys can see, he's pretty much featured in most games, barring the Aston Villa game, which was game week 4, but I think he had a really good game week in game week 7 against Southampton with 2 assists, and he will stay in the team now for the next couple of weeks. And again, fixtures speak for themselves, so let's double up on Azpilicueta. I've included Diaz in here rather than Cancelo, so there's a risk of rotation with Cancelo, but again, if you're doubling up, you'd have Diaz and Cancelo. But if you're going to go for the 1, in my specific opinion, or my personal opinion, I would go for Diaz, as I know he will pretty much play most minutes for Manchester City. Fixtures wise, again, they're in the top 5. They've got difficult games at Old Trafford, and then Everton at home. It's coming as grey, but for me, I think they should be comfortable despite Everton playing so well so far. But never say never. The next 3 games look fairly decent for some returns defensively. Burnley at home, Brighton away, and Crystal Palace at home. So the formation I'll be looking to play from this squad itself is 3-4-3. So both templates are 3-4-3, which I'm going for, but I've added a lot of depth on the bench as well. So we have players to bring in if they are dropped or benched for rotation. And then I've included Shane Duffy from Brighton, 4.3 mil, 24% of managers already have him. 1 goal and 1 assist. Could have had a goal against Arsenal as well at the latter stages, but they've got Norwich, then they've got Manchester City and Liverpool, so that's why he's on the bench, but we can certainly look to bring him in for the Norwich and Newcastle game if you'd like to, and then Aston Villa and Leeds should be good games for Brighton as well. Can they carry on this great start after the international break? They kept on going after the last international break, so I shouldn't see too much difficulties for Graham Potter's side moving forward. And then in my midfield, the four that I'll be playing, we're starting off with Man City. So I've got Jack Grealish in there. Yes, he hasn't hit the ground running, but for 100 million, he's pretty much starting week in, week out. So along with Diaz and Edison, I think it's pretty much nailed to start most games for Manchester City. And with the fixtures coming up, attackingly, I think he can get some returns. He's got Kevin De Bruyne back now. And, the team looked really good against Liverpool despite being at Anfield. Should have come away with 3 points, in my opinion. But, Man City are getting strength to strength. Got a victory at Stamford Bridge and got a draw at Anfield. But in terms of their fixtures coming up, again, defensive and attacking returns, Grealish should be there or thereabouts for the Burnley, Brighton and Crystal Palace game. And that's the same reason I've chosen Phil Foden in there as well. Now, he's only owned by 1.7% of managers. Yes, there's a risk of rotation, but presently in his current form, I just don't see that happening with Guardiola. There's always a spell in the season where he kind of goes for Phil Foden and backs him for a couple of game weeks. This is that spell now. So he's coming against Southampton, got 18 minutes, but then has started the 2 main games against Chelsea and Liverpool where the results have come from. He's a left footer who likes to play on the left-hand side. Sterling is being overlooked at the moment. Mahrez is not pretty much being considered either. So what you need to generally understand is he will get the minutes as we speak. And with those fixtures that we've discussed, he could be absolutely lethal and a great differential for you to have in your side. And if he is benched or rotated, I've got the cover on the pitch or in my 15-man squad. Mo Salah, don't need to really talk about much with him. 10 returns already in 7 games. The highest point scorer in the game itself. 70 points, 6 goals, 4 assists. And even against Manchester City, the guy got 13 points, which is absolutely unreal. For me, the best player not only in the league itself, but the world. Fixtures-wise, it's hit and miss at the moment, but it doesn't matter. For me, he's proven week in, week out, he's undroppable. Watford, away, should be a captaincy choice. Manchester United at Old Trafford then. Brighton at home should be a decent fixture for them. And then they've got West Ham, Arsenal, Southampton. So he's going to stay, pretty much will be captaincy option for game week 8 and 10. So there's no reason for us to overlook him despite his price. I've kept in Andros Townsend in here for 5.5, 43 points with 5 returns, 3 goals and 2 assists. He's been absolutely immense this season with DCL and Richarlison and without them as well. They've got talent in Decore, Gray, Allen. They've got all the players they need to. They've got a West Ham fixture followed by Watford and Wolves. So definitely worth considering bringing him in or having at least someone from the Everton squad in your squad. And then I've also got Romeo in as well from Southampton. Now, there's nothing great to write home about in terms of what he's done. But on the bench for 4.5, owned by less than 1% of managers, he's not a bad shout because considering, let's go back to the fixtures, Southampton, according to the difficulty fixture predictor, is second to Chelsea. So why not consider some Southampton players, even if they're not on your squad, but on the bench as well, to hopefully bring you some returns as we go along in the season. So for me, if you go back to Romeo himself, as you can see, not much ownership, and I think, not a bad player to come on if you do need that 2 points off someone who's being rotated. For example, Phil Foden, if he was to. Then there's three strikers that we've got is Lukaku, obviously as the fixtures we've discussed, hasn't played so well in the league, has gone 4 games without a goal, but what you need to understand, he scored against, I think it was France in the Nations League, so he looked really lethal, had an offside goal ruled out as well, so he's looking like he's hungry, and fingers crossed, coming back to those fixtures, that it should be a good chance for you to really take advantage of the fixtures that Lukaku does have. You've also got Antonio. I'm keeping him up there despite the fixtures. 9 returns already. He's an absolute king of FPL. Everton, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Liverpool, they don't look great, but high ownership. I think you have to persist with him even during this difficult run, because if he does score and he's not in your team, it will affect your rank massively. And then last but not least, I've got Jimenez in. What can I say? An absolute fantastic story to see him back and doing well. 3 returns in the last 2 games with 1 goal and 2 assists against Newcastle in the last game and Southampton the week before. Fixtures-wise, they look decent for me. Aston Villa, Leeds, Everton, Crystal Palace. And then even after West Ham, they got Norwich and Burnley. So it can be a long-term selection. He's going to be on penalties, so he's not going to be rotated. That's why I favoured him. So the squad here will look like Ramsdale in goal, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Diaz, Grealish, Salah, Foden, Townsend, Jimenez, Antonio, and Lukaku. So that's template 1. And then we've got a template 2. So in this one, what I've done is I persisted with Raya in goal. So Raya is for Brentford. Now for Brentford, they're in the top 5 fixtures. As you can see, after the Chelsea game, Leicester, Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle. Should be a really good fixture run for him. He's done well so far, and he's only owned by 10% of managers, which again might help you in terms of differential as well. Clean sheet wise, he's got 3, and he can definitely double that in the next 5 game weeks if they do continue to play like they have done so far in the season. In this one, I've gone for Rudiger again. We've discussed Chelsea's fixtures. Cancelo rather than Diaz. Man City's fixtures do look good as well. And I've brought in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Despite having difficult fixtures, he's literally, for some players or managers, undroppable. 35 points with 2 assists. Missed 2 of the last 3 games due to illness and injury. He could be back for the Watford game, and if he is, he should be ready to start and looking good and well. But again, you know, we shouldn't overlook players like Trent, but there are managers who are moving away from the Trent template for now and look to potentially get him back maybe in around game week 15 when they go on a bit more of a more smoother run in terms of fixtures in itself. And on the, you know, those will be the 3 first defenders, and the 2 on the bench I'll go for is Tierney. I want to bring him in. Again, the fixtures we've discussed for Arsenal look extremely good, and he's pretty much nailed to play if fit on the left-back position as well. 4.9 could be a good bargain as well, and 7% ownership could again be a really good differential aspect. Livramento, we've discussed Southampton's fixtures. 4.2 mil, absolute steal. 13% managers own him, and you know he could be played regularly with those fixtures coming up. So you could potentially go 4-4-2. It could be an option if you like to play 4 defenders at the back. It's the way you'd like to play it in your personal opinion. But for me, you know, Livramento could actually be your first starting defender over the next couple of game weeks. Even on top of Trent when he's away at Old Trafford, could be an option for the clean sheet. Now, in midfield, I've gone for Rafinha. So Rafinha at 6.5, he's 6.6 now. It's potentially the best option around that price. I think he's highly undervalued. 20% of managers have him, but Leeds have some really good fixtures still continuing. So Southampton, Wolves and Norwich could get some good returns. Has been unlucky, been a bit injured, so not getting full minutes. But after the international break, he should be good to go again and, you know, get some returns for Leeds in terms of their fixtures. I've kept Salah in, so we've discussed Salah already. Is going to be part of the templates, whichever template I make. He's that good. And in this one, I brought in Mbembo. So we talked about Brentford's fixtures. I know the Chelsea fixture might not be the great fixture, so maybe benching him in this one and playing 4-3-3 might be a better option for game week 8. And then Leicester, Burnley, Norwich and Newcastle might be the fixtures to bring him in. He's listed as a midfielder, but he's actually playing up front with Ivan Toney. So it might be a lot of goal returns that could be coming your way. So that's why he's in this draft. And of course, I've brought in Son. So Son, only 13% ownership. Played extremely well against Aston Villa, 2 returns, and with the fixtures that are coming up for them, they got Newcastle away, but then they got 3 difficult fixtures at West Ham, Manchester United and Everton, which by all means he can definitely contribute in with goals and assists. But then that run from game week 12 to 17 looks really good as well. So I think, you know, Son might be a really good shout to bring into your squad. For 10 mil, I think he's generally a good bargain. I think Mane should have been around that price, would have been an absolute steal as well. And then in this one, I've got Cristiano Ronaldo. So the reason why I've included Ronaldo in this one, or not Lukaku, there's always that question of, should we play Ronaldo or Lukaku? I've personally gone Lukaku, but there are managers out there who are going to persist with Ronaldo, and they've got 46% of managers have done that. So they're potentially doubled up in some occasions with Lukaku and Ronaldo. But I've gone for Ronaldo only in this one. He's probably going to be back with a vengeance, prove a point to Ollie. Don't bench me again. Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City are tough games, but you know he can score in difficult games as well. But that's why I've included Cristiano Ronaldo in this draft, just for those managers who do want to play him over Lukaku. And then I've included Adam Armstrong. Against Southampton fixtures we've discussed. 1 goal, 1 assist. It might be a good chance for him to get on a run and get some goals behind him. He's played really well, actually. He just haven't had the returns in FPL returns, but I think there's a lot of attacking returns to come from him. He could be on penalties, considering Ward-Prowse is suspended for the Leeds game. So we never know, he might get some more returns for us. And of course, how could I make a draft or a template without having Hwang in one of them at least? So less than 4% of managers have him at the moment. 5.6 in price. million-wise in the game. He's done well. At the moment, it's still a differential, so the risk of rotation is there, but we've got cover on the bench as well. I haven't gone through Douglas Luiz, but we will go through him. But 3 goals so far, 2 in his last game. Villa, Leeds, Everton, Crystal Palace. He can certainly continue that form forward, and I'm looking out for him. He might come into my team in the near future. And the last but not least, I've got Douglas Luiz, on the bench as well. 21 points, 2 assists so far. Villa, in terms of fixtures, it's a bit of a mixture. So you've got Wolves, Arsenal, West Ham, and then Southampton, Brighton, Crystal Palace. But it's nice to have him just in case there are any rotational injuries on the team in its front itself. So that's, again, my second template for the team itself. And that's what I think, 2 templates will look like. If I were to wildcard, these would be the 2 ideal templates that I would look at. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are these the players that you're looking at? Are some of the players you're looking to avoid, or there are players that you're looking at and I haven't included? Let me know. Type it into the comments box. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Help us get to that 1K subscribers mark. Type that league code in. Join the FPL INKLING League on the game as well. Till then, I want you guys to take care, and I'll be back with some more content very soon.